Hi everyone. Do you believe in ghosts? Or do you believe in haunted objects like dolls or any other things? If you believe or if you think yes there is something like that, then this video is for you guys. Okay. World's most haunted and terrifying doll. What will you think? Annabelle? Really, most of you will think it is Annabelle, but it's not Annabelle. I'm going to say not the story of Annabelle. It's about a doll. Its name is Robert. So, the story of Robert. It's if you want to see the story of Robert, you have to go from the first. So there are two alternatives which believe this story, but still we don't know which one is the best. We most believe these two are the best. These There are many alternatives of this story, but I am going to say only about two alternatives. Okay, the first one. The first one is this doll is created or made in 1904 in Germany, 1904 Germany, in a company called Stiff. Now, Stiff Company is the first company that created the world's first teddy bear, and not only the world's first teddy bear, but also they have created many dolls like that. And this doll robot, it was a handmade one. It was a handmade one, but they made this doll not to sale, but they made this doll to keep in a glass room, to keep like a, if there is a showroom, that we kept something like to attract people, like that they made this to attract people. But they didn't make this to sell or to give it to someone. They just made it to keep in a glass box so that people may attract and come into the shop. But however, somehow this doll was sold to a old man. This old man, what he did, he bought the doll in 1904, and he took that doll to his grandson. That grandson's name is Robert Otto Eugene. Robert Otto Eugene. His name is Robert Otto Eugene. So so the Robert Otto Eugene is his grandson. He's like 10 or 9 something now. Uh, what he did, he when he took the doll, he named the doll as the robot, and that robot has a dress. That dress that wasn't made by the company. That dress is this boy's. Otto's dress only was given to this boy. Otto's dress only given to this doll. So the sailor's dress which you see in the this doll is not the company's dress, it's the boy's. Okay. Now this doll is not like other dolls, which means it's a handmade one, and it's the very first kind. It's the very first one of this kind of this doll. It's the very first one. So they bought the first doll, and what he did, the boy and this robot had a deep big relationship. They used to talk. That boy talked to this doll more frequently, as most of the kids they talk to the dolls like that. He also talked with the dolls, he played with it, and then only the creepy things start to happen. So one day what happened was, when at a night one night what happened was, when this boy went to sleep, and in the middle of the night this boy woke up and he saw the doll was near him. And late and sometimes later, the parents who heard the scream of this boy came came to his room. When they saw, what they heard was, they heard the sounds of objects moving here and there, and the crying sound of this boy. When they came in, the door was locked, so they had to broke the door, and when they came in, they saw the boy was curled up in his bed, and the doll was on the bed. When the parents asked what happened, this boy said Robert did it. The boy only said Robert did it. So this is the phase which continues for more over the story many times, because whatever the thing that happens in that home, the boy would say Robert did it. Robert did it. Robert did it. So uh, and the parents thought that was not the doll, it was the child. And what they said, okay, leave it. But later on, when Otto and this robot were playing, and they heard when Otto asked a question, there were replies given by someone. When they searched, there was no one, just the doll. Then only they started to realize there is something fishy going around, and they heard reply voices which they don't know who replied, and there was giggling sounds, and they saw someone is moving here and there. They heard the sound someone is moving other than them, other than the parents and the servants. There was someone else also moving here and there. Say they, so they were they were creepy things happening in that home, and they don't know who or what is going on in there. So later on, when this Otto grew older, grew younger, what he did, he went to his college to study arts, and later on he came. Later on, his parents, after his parents passed away, he came to this home with his newly wedded wife Annie. So Annie and Robert lived in this home. Now, what they did was, while they were living, Annie had a little bit of discomfort while seeing this doll. So, what she said to what she said to Otto is, keep this doll somewhere else. So, what Otto did, he took Robert and he kept him in the attic. So, he kept him in the attic. But when still he thought, okay, now everything will be fine, but that wasn't going to be fine, because the people and the school children, mostly school children who were around going near his home, saw Robert peeping through the window, the upstairs window. They saw Robert is peeping through the window, and what he was doing, not only peeping, he was smiling and he was moving here and there, and the school children saw that, and they complained it to Annie and Robert. Robert, what he did, he soon went to investigate what really happened, and he saw there in the attic there was no Robert was not in the attic, and he went upstairs. He saw Robert is sitting in a wooden chair near the window. So what he did, he again took it and he again locked him in the attic. But it was happening several times. When the again the school children say no, he is in upstairs. Again he went and checked. Again he see Robert is in upstairs. So continuously it happened for few times, and Robert did the same thing. He locked him in the attic. But in 1974, Otto Eugene passed away. In 1970, Otto Eugene passed away. So now, what Annie did, before Annie is going to die, what she did was she sold his home with everything in it, with the robot too, with to Miss. So, what Annie did was, after passing of her husband, she sold the home with everything in it, including the robot. She sold it, and Miss Writers bought the house, and she stayed there for another 20 years. So, she too had a daughter who is 10 years old, and she was too affected by Robert. And Robert would move here and there, and the items were moved here and there, and she even screamed at night. And what she did was, okay, now we cannot keep this doll here. What Miss Writers did, she took that doll and she gave it to a nearby museum, Fort Mortello Museum, Key West, Florida. Fort Fa, Fort East Martello, sorry, Fort East Martello Museum. Fort East Martello Museum is the museum which now currently the doll is kept. So she gave it to that museum, and what they did, they took the doll and they didn't find anything important that. So what they did was, the staff, they kept the doll in a backyard, in a storage room, like in a storage room. And when people around that area, and who knew there is a story that moving around about the Robert, many people visited to that museum to see Robert. But when they found that Robert was not in there, and they asked about the where is the Robert, and why haven't he placed in the museum. And many people came in and asked about the robot. So what the museum staff, what did they thought, okay, now we have to keep him. What they did was, they took Robert from the storage room and they kept him in a glass box. And not only they kept him in a glass box, they didn't thought that they will have a what big they're going to gain some big money with this, because more people started visiting after they kept the robot in the museum, in a showcase, in a glass box, which is the current place, which is currently stayed in that glass box for many years now. Okay, now the caretaker of this doll is Miss Corey. Yes, Miss Corey. she is now the caretaker of this robot, and robot stuff. Okay, now they thought the doll is in the museum, nothing would happen. But the more creepy things started to happen after they kept him in the museum. What happened was there was many claim the one who visitors, mostly the visitors, what they said was they saw this robot, his facial expressions changing, and not only that they hear giggling sounds, and they had other creepy sounds nearby. And not only that, if they took a photograph or if they took some any kind of pic or video without the permission of robert, what there are bad things happening to them. What kind of bad thing? Many have met accidents, many have lost their jobs, and many have lost many kinds of things, and they have injured themselves, and many kind of bad things have happened to them if they took any kind of pictures without asking the permission of robert. So still they believe that this doll is still haunting everyone. Now I'm going to say about the second alternative. The second alternative is that there was a servant in Eugene family. There was a servant girl, servant maid or servant girl was working for that family. But the Eugene family was not kind to her. So what she did was she took a doll and she did some say she did voodoo, some say she did black magic to that doll, and she gave that doll to this Otto. So she gave this doll to this Otto, and that's why it's still haunting. It's have been done with black magic or voodoo. And if you okay, now I'm going to say about some interesting facts about this doll. Okay, now this robot doll, it has been inspired to a character which is also a popular character, Chucky. You all know the Chucky, Child's Play. Okay, now Chucky, that character was designed or created by this Robert's doll. But when they heard the story of Robert, what they did was they created a they created Chucky with that story and with that creepy things and so on. And what they did was, the franchise of Chucky, Child's Play. There are 10 to 11 movies, some I think 10 to 11 movies, I think. Many movies. And not only that, this Robot doll has its own movie too. Not one movie, I think 4 movies are there. Robot something, Robot only. And the last one is part 4 came, Robot Reborn in 2019. That's the latest one. 4 movies are there. For its name is Robert. Movie's name is Robert, and not only that, this doll has its own website, which is managed by Miss Corey. I said the caretaker of this doll. She is managing its website and have social media accounts. Robert has social media accounts. Not only social media account, it has books written by. There are many books written to the doll, and the robot gets many emails. Not only emails, he gets letters too from the visitors, because most of them what they did, they take pictures without asking robot, and they get bad things happen to them. Then what they do, they write letters asking forgiveness from robot. Each day they Miss Corey has mentioned each day she receives 1 to 3 letters each day, 1 to 3 letters each day, and some other letters what asking for advices, some have asking advices, and some have told to do bad things to others too, because they have done some harmful things to them, so they want them to happen. They asked robert to help them to do bad things to them. And another thing, children's also write to this robot. And what Miss Corey, what she did, she sent presents to that kids too. And later on the museum, what they did, they announced that this robert the doll have a sweet tooth. When she announced the sweet tooth, many sent them sweets all around. Many who visit there, and not only the one who visit, though there are many others who send gifts from all over the world to this robot. So this doll, they send many gifts. So this doll receives many sweets. And what the museum staff said, they don't take any sweets which people send to this robot. They don't take any of them. And not only the sweets, and there are some people send joints also, but the joints do, what the museum staff said, they don't give this type of inappropriate things to doll, because he may get flammable to this doll. So they give only sweets to that doll and they keep it near him. So many things happen. So I ask you one question: do you believe in these haunted items? Because I don't. I believe in haunted things, but I don't believe in ghost, because most of them claim there is some kind of ghost effect to this doll, because we don't know how the grandpa got this doll. Oh, what happened? Because many of them believe that this doll is haunted. So I ask you, do you believe that this doll is haunted, or do you think no, someone is playing around, or the museum staffs are playing around? So I ask you, what do you think? Comment down below. Don't forget to like this. If you like, give a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to know more about anything, just comment down below what you want to know. I will soon do a video about that too. Bye. Peace.